Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. It's very much in time that I start this vlog because I have been putting it off for some reason, just starting it. I'm not gonna finish it, I'm just gonna start it. And that is the next one in the series of reading Booktuber's fave books. So, you probably saw the thumbnail, you probably saw the title. I am reading Nikki's from With Love, Nikki's favorite books for this one, and yeah, of course I will leave a link to the channel down below. You can go and check it out. Nikki is one of my best friends. I constantly spam her of questions of my existence. But yeah, I don't know what to say. We have I think similar taste in books well enough, so we should see how this goes. But first of all, let's go through some faves that she suggested at first and I had already read. So, starting off, we had Wicked Fox, which is an urban YA fantasy set in Korea. And we basically have a main character, what is her name? Oh my god. I just opened this book and it fell apart. Oh, look at this. Look, it literally fell apart. What is this? I haven't. Actually, I don't remember if I opened this or read in this because I read the, audiobook. Has it been like this all along? Look at this. You can't see. Look at that. The whole book just fell out of its spine right now. Or has it been like this all along? Who knows? Holy shit. I got this, I think, as a birthday present. I bought it online. And I might not have, looked... The whole book loosened from its spine. Either way, what I was going to say is it follows Miyong, and she is a Gumiho, which is like a kitsune, which is like a fox, spiritual fox. And then she loses her fox speed, and this normal human picks it up. She needs to ease humans' heart to survive for a long time and become immortal. It's just about her finding her bee back, etc. So it's like very K-drama-esque vibes. I also really, really love this. So, me and Nikki had really the same taste on this one. And then her next film was Ninth House, which I already read, which I love. This is by Lee Rodrigo, obviously, and this is her first adult fantasy, which is also actually urban. Seems like Nikki has some urban taste. Okay, sorry. This one is just a dark academia, follows Alex Stern, murder starts happening on campus, and she's trying to figure out why. And then she can also see ghosts, if I remember correctly. I really want to reread this, and I'm very excited for the sequel, and I love this book. So yeah, again, taste to Nikki. Then we have They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This one is also a YA, temporary but sci-fi, I was gonna say vibes. 4 hours before you die, you get a message saying that you're gonna die, or like at the day of your death. And then people can meet through this app, which both of them have gotten like this message. And they can meet up and like connect over soon dying. So I did love this one. I remember it now, like a few years down the lane since I read it. I don't have that much fond memories of it. I don't love the characters. Didn't really love the story because for me in my head it doesn't make sense to me. But I think I gave it 4 stars when I read it, but now it would definitely be a 3. But it's not like I hated it. I don't know, many people love it, but it's not my favorite. So for that I'm like, if this the other books are in that kind of taste, then it's gonna be a hard one. And then the last one that I already read that I own is A Curse of Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer, which of course I gave 5 stars and loved. But both me and Nikki also hated the second and third book with passion. Like half our conversation is ranting about the second and third book and Leah Mara. So I'm not worried. We both gave this 5 stars and loved this pieces. But yeah, this is a YA foil fantasy, and we have, it's a beautiful beast retelling. So we have Ran, who is cursed, and then they're stealing girls from our world to go on Orek's curse, and then he's this Harper. We should see if she can do it. Absolutely love the first one. So yeah, we have some other on the list too that I didn't own. We had House of Salt and Sorrows, don't know anything about this, so I wouldn't know if I would like it or not. We had Rouge for Stealing Stars by Corey and Haidu, as well as the Someday Suitcase. Don't know anything about this either. And then we had Tea Dragon Society, which I know a lot of people love. It's a graphic novel. Everyone loves it. And I do want to read it one day, but I don't have it. And then Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills. I have heard about this too, but I don't know anything about it. And the last one was Ivy, A Breen's Ladder to the World by Ashley Herring Blake. I have read another book by Ashley Herring Blake, which I really did enjoy. And then I'm gonna like read more by the authors. I'll probably read this one day. But yeah, all of those, if you're watching this, if like you read those, then you can know maybe the vibes of Nikki's taste. So yeah, those were like all Nikki's face that I didn't pick out. But we decided in the end on 5. And I have already read one. Because I was gonna start this vlog, obviously, before starting one. But that never happened. So here we are. So the one I started out with was Summers at Castle Auburn by... author name has slipped my mind. Need to go and check this. Internet does not want to work. Sharon Shin. This one is a fantasy full of main character, and she every summer goes to the Castle Auburn where like the king live, and like she is a bastard daughter of another noble who had died, but then her uncle came and was like, you can come here every summer to be part of the court life a bit, etc. And she has been going there every summer. She meets her half-sister. They love each other dearly. They're like super good friends. She meets a lot of people in the court that she spends time with. She is like a little adventurous, noble girl in summers. And then usually she's like trying to be a wise woman in her own village. And then just... drama ensues. I was gonna say there's a lot of like political stuff happening in the castle. They also enslave these people they have stolen from the forest. They live like in this magical city deep inside the forest. That is the thing. The prince is like betrothed to her sister. That is some drama. And I like they want to use her as a political pawn in their games because she's, you know, a nobleman's daughter. They want to marry her away, but will she? Will she do as they say? Who knows? So that's like all the things that are going on. And I was like, the cover looked terrible. It looks absolutely terrible. It's like published in 2001. And the reason Nikki loved this was because, like, childhood, she said, like, reminded of her childhood. And I was like, okay, let's read this and see. Because, like, with all those elements, I didn't know the synopsis beforehand, though. But with those elements, it doesn't sound like something I would enjoy. Like, just, like, childhood stuff that I didn't have in my childhood. Why would I like that? But I ended up really, really, really loving it. Like, I didn't give it 5 stars. I gave it really, really strong 4 stars. But I just had such a good time. I was so invested in the story. I read it, the whole thing in sprints. And, like, when I did that, I, like, wanted to, like, have the next sprints almost at once. Because I was so engaged in the story. It was just such a fun book. Whereas I really love the characters and follow the journey and see, like, all the drama coming out, and like I really cared about anything that happened. Like when something dramatic happens, I was just texting Nikki, be like, oh my god, why did I do this? And it was just such a good time. So I just enjoyed it immensely. I thought I wouldn't like it because it looks sucky. Let's be real, it looks a bit sucky. And I was like, will I even like this? But it was just so engaging. I read it on my Kindle, by the way, if you're wondering why I don't have a physical copy, because I think it only exists ugly copies, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to invest in that, so I just read it on Kindle. It wasn't that expensive. Now I feel like I should have a physical copy because it was so good. But yeah, I think it all has that March Market paperback with like super tiny font. Kind of glad I read it on Kindle. And yeah, it was just such a good time. It was such a good time. So really, really happy about this first one. I thought as I would enjoy it. It's an old book, you know. Old book doesn't age well always. And for me, I had loads and loads of fun. It was just very summery and good vibes. Yeah. So, obviously, I'm keeping the next books a secret because I want to keep suspense in the vlog, like I'm doing in all the other ones. I have all of them, and I am going to read them soonish, but I'm leaving for holiday tomorrow, so if they have them available, like, on some of the apps, etc. I'll be using, then I will be reading them then. But if not, then I will continue this vlog when I get home. We shall see. So I realized that the next clips might be like I'm in a totally different place because I might be on holiday. But we shall see. But yeah, first one really good. Let's see where this vlog take me. Because also some of the other ones on the list, some are on from before anyway. So I was really intrigued by them, like on my own. There's like I'm just reading them for the vlog. So I do think that like I would enjoy them. So yeah. Nikki, same taste-ish as me. Yay! Okay, see you later when I continue. Hello, so it's been a hot minute for this vlog since I went on holiday and I was planning to read more for it. It just never happened. But on the plane ride back home, I did read the next one for this. So I read, drumroll, If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This was the next one of Nikki's faves. Very excited. I already own this as well. So like I had all plans to read it, but now I read it specifically for this vlog. And this one is a dark academia book. We are set in this really intense acting school where, can I say without being spoiled, I need to actually read the synopsis. So in this acting school where we have 7 really close friends that live on like one of the houses on the school, and they all close. Then one of them dies, and it actually starts out with 10 years in the future where Oliver has been imprisoned for the last 10 years for this murder that happened. But we don't know who did it, so we try to like figure it out. And it's kind of weird because personally I didn't read a synopsis before I started the book. I knew it was going to be a murder because obviously Oliver was in prison for something, but I didn't know how many murders there would be. I didn't like know the specifics of it. Obviously, I mean, like it's kind of like a mystery in it, but like in my head the book wasn't even like focused on the murder. Like in my head I was kind of just following the characters and the drama that happened. Like there were so many things that was happening in between them, and like so many like other small details, whereas like there was like the shifting in relationships, and I kind of forgot. It's not like I forgot there was a murder, but I kind of forgot that we were trying to figure out who was murdering, you know? And I really did enjoy it. I think it was really just like the atmosphere, how gay it turned out to be. I was like, hello, excuse you. It was just so gay. I really just like dark academia where you're like, you're friends, but it is also just like very intense, you know? I very much did enjoy. The part that I didn't enjoy so much, which was a huge part of the book, was all the Shakespeare. So now like I don't hate Shakespeare, it sounds very dramatic, or like I don't have anything against Shakespeare. I just don't want to read Shakespeare at this time of my life. Who knows in the future. And there was so much Shakespeare references. And this is kind of like, even the authors have said it was kind of like a Shakespearean retelling in a way. And there was just so much from his plays. And I just don't care. I feel like maybe if I care, the book would have been even better. Like it would be like, oh my god, Shakespeare, like probably have like double cross meanings in somewhere there. But since I literally don't care, it just didn't do any for me, and it was so much of it that I was just like, can we stop? Obviously I'm not saying the book is bad because of this. This is like a personal preference where I just don't want to read Shakespeare, and this book forced me to, so I was a bit poop that part. And since it was such a huge part of it, I couldn't like ignore it, you know? I don't think it would have been a 5-star read anyway for me, even without the Shakespeare, because it's just like, while I was super invested in the characters and super invested like in the setting and the atmosphere, it didn't feel like a 5-star book either way. But I was very invested, and it was very well written. And definitely like a book I enjoyed a lot, so I see why people love it a lot. It's just a bit like sophisticated. I don't know how to describe it. I guess like it's very like, it's, the characters are sophisticated, the setting is sophisticated. It's a bit like a fancy book, but I feel like it's written like that on purpose, and like made like that on purpose, which fits really well for the book as well. So it's like, it's smart in that way. But yeah, I finished the next one, which means we have, do we have 3 left? I'm trying to remember what I'm supposed to read for this vlog in a second. I think we have 3 left, and I am hyped. I am very intrigued about the rest of them. They're all really different, so it's, I'm having a good time. I'm planning to finish them now in July, so this vlog should be up like later in July. So yeah, I'm having a good time. Probably more thoughts like later when I wrap them all up. But yeah, you will see me soon. Okay, so I felt like I had to update this vlog, and I feel like it's not been as long as I think it has been. Last time I talked about If We Were Villains, which is only like, I think 2 weeks ago or something. I read it on holiday, and then I updated it when I came home because I read it while going home. And now I read another book while going on holiday, so I went to London for Yalk, which is... I got sick, which is why I'm coughing. And I read the next book for this vlog. which I read like while going to London, and then I read one chapter a day when I was there to not lose my reading streak, and then I finished it when I went back home, which is now not a week ago, but like 4 days ago. And then I actually finished the next one as well for this vlog, but I'm gonna talk about it I think in the morning, so like it's a bit separate, so that it seems like this vlog is cool. Because yeah, I am enjoying this vlog and I'm enjoying all the books. I'm just bad vlogger, even though I'm supposed to be able to do this. But yeah, the next one, as you just saw, was My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I'm also actually reading this for 12 Friends Recommend 12 Books Challenge, because Justine recommended this to me, so I was going to read this anyway soon. But then it was one of Nikki's faves, obviously, which is why it's here. And I have heard many things about this book before going into it. But basically, it came out, I think, like under a lot of like when Me Too was appearing and like getting really like intense. And this one is basically about our main character Vanessa, who was groomed and had a relationship with her teacher when she was 14 years old. It started when she was 14 and he was 42. And then we see her in the future, how like when all the Me Too stuff is coming out, someone else that was abused by him is coming out to like say that she was abused, and she is like reflecting upon like her relationship with him, and like in her head she was not abused. And then we also get flashback of like how the relationship started, how it developed, etc. Obviously trigger warnings for all kinds of grooming and sexual assault and all that kind of stuff. I would assume you would get that from just me describing this book. Like, it has a lot of trigger warnings. It goes into details as well. But it was a very interesting book that you definitely can discuss so many parts of. Like, it's a really book you can really talk to people about, because it has, you know, very serious themes. And I think, in my opinion, not that I can like say anything about being groomed by a teacher, obviously, but in my opinion, I think it is written really well. I think it really shows all the sides of the story. And Vanessa is, you know, I would not say she's dislikable, but she's definitely a difficult person to follow. Her point of view and her feelings towards, you know, the whole Me Too and how her relationship was with this teacher, all that is just very like, I don't think like usual in like a Survivor story, in my opinion. And I think like it makes it more difficult to read, but it makes it a really interesting and intriguing and very heartbreaking read as well. And I would say that it was really hard to put down. Like, it was a very intriguing book. You want to know what happens next. You want to know what happened to Vanessa. And it definitely like opens eyes for this whole situation. And I like, it's late, I can't even speak, but just general like a very intriguing read, which definitely like it leaves an impression upon your mind if you're able to get through it. And I like truly think it was a really good book that also like you want to talk about. You're so frustrated, you wouldn't like throw it into a wall, but also you want to like give it a hype because like you're like, Vanessa, please. You know, I don't know exactly how to rate it. I think it's a hard book to rate, because for me the book was not a 5-star book, but it's definitely a 5-star book in like another way. I can't even say a complete sentence, but yeah, definitely like really good book. I know I can see why it's been praised so highly, but I can also see why it wouldn't be. Like, it can also see the opposite side of like what a book like this is written like for. I don't know how to say sentences, but yeah, don't regret reading it at all. Very intriguing. And yeah, I think the range in this video for like book to book has truly been a ride. And now I have only one left, which I'm planning to read tomorrow. And I will talk about like the 4th one tomorrow, which I have finished today, which is also very different from all of the other books. And I'm very curious to see like how I'm gonna even talk about them in the end. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts for now. I cannot talk about books properly, but that's what I got to say. And now I'm gonna go to bed, and I will try to upload this vlog before going to work tomorrow, so that it could soon be done. But yeah, I'm enjoying myself a lot. Hello! It is the next day and I'm actually vlogging as promised, which I feel like don't happen, so you should be proud of me. So, the 4th book for this vlog I finished yesterday, and we have one left, which I'm hopeful to finish today at work. But the one I read yesterday, or finished yesterday, was Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. I'm sorry. I was about to say L.M. Montgomery. I don't know why. It was a thing. And this one is obviously the first one following Anne of Green Gables, which is a classic series. When was it first released? I'm gonna check. 1908. That's a long time ago. I was not born then. You were probably not born then. Unless, I mean, what do I know? You might be a vampire. But this was it. And I don't read much classics, like in general, just because the ones I read I tend to not like as much, even though I do like to see the origins of certain stories that are really known, or certain tropes, etc. Like, I wanted to read Dracula because I love vampires, but I didn't love Dracula, you know what I mean? And I have heard about this, and I know it's also a Netflix TV show, but I haven't watched that. And I was a bit surprised, I don't know why, that Nikki had this as a fave. I didn't expect Nikki to just have like a classic as a fave. I don't know why. I bought it, I read it, and it's actually really cute. Like, I did not like it. It's very accessible as well. I felt like it wasn't like hard to read at first. I was like a bit put off in the language, which I usually am in classics, but then when like I got really into it, I didn't really think of it. Oh god, I just spat everywhere. That was disgusting. And yeah, we basically follow Anne, who is 11 years old, and then she's adopted by this couple, Marilla and Matthew Cuthbert. Why do both of them start on M? Hate that, hate to see it. And basically we just see Anne kind of learning lessons in life. I don't know how to describe it. It felt very much in the beginning as a slice of life story, whereas they do connect, but it's like every chapter is like not a lesson, but like every chapter is like a short story continuing Anne's character development. So they do of course connect and everything, like they do happen in chronological order, but it also felt disconnected from each other in a way that it felt like a slice of life chapter, like in a manga. And I didn't mind that at all. I thought like that made like the story feel like wholesome in one chapter and not wholesome in the next chapter, because it is overall just a very wholesome story. Just for example, in one chapter Anne wanted to go to this picnic, and then her adopted mother thought that she had stolen this brooch, and as she said she had to go to her room until she confessed that she stole it, lost it, and then Anne just confesses, and then it wasn't true. Because she thought if she confessed she could go to this picnic, but as she just confessed the bad thing, she wasn't allowed to go. And then yeah, and then it's just like we learn interesting things about Anne. She's like a very odd and different child. I feel like a bit like not like other girls. She talks a lot. She has a really like an imaginative mind. She's like imagines things all the time and just talks and talks and talks like I'm doing right now. But yeah, she's very wholesome. She's a very wholesome character. And it is funny to be in her mind and just see her interact with characters around her and how they speak to each other and how they interact. And yeah, it had a cute ending. I like didn't love it, like I didn't love it to that, but I definitely think it was adorable. I definitely want to continue reading about Anne, and I definitely like had a good time. It felt really wholesome and good. So yeah, that is my overall thought. And as a character, I feel bad for her, but also I want to hug her. I want to be her friend. I would be her friend because I love an imaginative mind. I think like 3.5 or 4 stars. I need to think on it. But like when we come to the end, I would have made up my mind, hopefully. But yeah. So that was the next book. I'm sorry for being a bit short, but I need to go and catch my bus for work, and I'm a bit late because I had to poop. Honestly, I will talk about the last book I think tomorrow probably then, because I will be home quite late, so I won't be able to do it tonight. Hopefully I will get to finish at work. It's only 200 pages, so I should be able to. And yeah, you will see me later. It's actually the next day because I didn't get the vlog last night because I did other stuff. Okay, I'm a horrible vlogger. But I finished the last book for this vlog, and then I think I will film another clip for this vlog tomorrow to finish it off where like I wrap up all my thoughts on all the books. But the last book I read was Brown Girls by Daphne Palazzi Andreades. I have forgotten to Google how to pronounce the names, I'm sorry. But basically this is not at all what I expected it to be. I thought it would be a like contemporary book about like a girl or girls living in Queens, New York, and then we just like follow the life or whatever. I don't know if I thought it was going to be a YA or what, but like I thought it was going to be like, you know, that kind of book, like just being and living and all that stuff. And it is, but it's not written at all like I thought it would be. It's not like one story / narrative. It's like told in we person, and I never like read a whole book told in we perspective. And it's also just like not one point of view, a group experience of like all the different types and people of brown girls living in Queens and how they go out about their lives, etc. And it's just very beautiful, very much like, as I said, not at all like a story with one narrative. It's just like a re-experience. So it could really be about like anyone. And it's just really truly a stunning book. And the reason it's Nikki's fave is because Nikki lives and grew up in Queens, New York, and she's also a brown girl that, so basically this book is about her. Like, it literally is Nikki. Like, this book is Nikki's. I get what, like, why it affected her so much and why it meant so much to her. Like, it makes perfect sense why it would. And I think that's beautiful. And I, like, to have that experience, to read something so close to you and so close to your home, that is amazing to have that experience. But well, of course, I'm not from Queens, New York. I can still like see so much myself of the story, and just like in general for people, not just like brown girls, but also just girls. But like, of course, the focus is on brown girls as well, and just how it is to be a daughter of immigrants, how it is to grow up with expectations, and just how to live, and like the family and just the origins and different stuff like that. It had so much impacted in it. It was truly like reading, for me, it felt like reading like a long, not a long book, it was like 203 pages, but like a full-on book with like kind of poetry with one theme in them. So yeah, it's a really different kind of narrative, really different kind of book of what I read before, but I really enjoyed it. It really gave me like a really like nice nostalgic feeling in me, even though like, not nostalgic is the right word for it. But yeah, it was truly enjoyable, and just thinking how much like it meant to someone like Nikki, that is like, that is, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it on her behalf, because while I enjoyed it and like saw so much beautifulness in it, I cannot imagine how it would feel for her, you know what I mean? Thinking that that would be such a close experience in your heart that like you cannot not feel that, you know what I mean? Really great. I don't know exactly my rating. I think I would give it 4 stars, like really strongly, because for me I don't think it's a 5-star book, but I feel like it could be really close to one, like 4.5. I'm gonna think a bit more on it for tomorrow, where I'm gonna wrap up this vlog finally. Not like I haven't had a great time, just like I am apparently horrible at starting vlogs and not finishing them up, even though in theory I could read all of these books in 1 week. I just haven't, even though for you, of course, you've just been sitting through this one video, but for me it's literally been months. All these like months sounded like really dramatic. At least like 1 month, 6 weeks, 5 weeks ish. But I have some other vlogs that has been months for. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm excited to talk about like my wrap up of all my thoughts for these books in the end. Truly very different experiences. But yeah, more thoughts on that tomorrow. You will see me right after this. It's time to end this vlog, however long it's been going. Actually, this vlog has been going on that long. Like, I started in June, we're only in July, it's fine. So, I read all of Nikki's favorite books. We had Summers of Castle Auburn, which I don't have a physical copy of. And then we had If We Were Villains, My Life Vanessa, Anne of Green Gables, and Brown Girls. So here is the 4 of them, but obviously also Summers of Castle Auburn. And overall, I think I enjoyed all of them. There's none of them that I didn't like, so they're all really different. But I thought, as I said with Nikki earlier, that what does these books have in common? Why are these your favorites? Because it's really interesting because they're all so different, you know? And we talked just about how she really likes books that gives her nostalgia and like childhood memories, or reminds me of her childhood, like Anne of Green Gables and Summer of Castle Auburn really reminds her of her childhood. And books with pain, you know, If We Were Villains is definitely very painful, and Brown Girls, you know, also reminds her of her childhood, and My Dark Vanessa also about dark times. So it's just pain and suffering, but also childhood stuff. That's the mix of it, and I think that's really funny. Obviously I don't have the same experience, but it's definitely been a ride. And they're also different, and I'm just like, how I'm gonna rank them. So I think I kind of made up my mind, but overall, just know I gave them all a good rating, and I will recommend all of them. But yeah, the number 5th place, the one I like the least, would be Anne of Green Gables. It's really just because I was gonna say it's because it's a classic, but it's not really because of that. It's just I liked Anne, but I just prefer the other stories more, you know? But it was good for me, I think, to read a classic I actually enjoyed, because I did enjoy this. It was really cute and adorable. And like the rating is like 3.75, I think. So yeah, but it's not even about the ratings. It's just how I feel about them. But I really enjoyed this one. But after this, it gets really difficult because all the other books were so great, but also different. I think after Anne of Green Gables, it will be Summerside Castle Avalon. While I absolutely adore that and I read it at the time, it was everything. It's just that I like the others so much more. This is so difficult. Why can't I just hate it some? It would be easier. Castle Avalon was amazing though. And it was just such good vibes. I really had a great time with that. I really need to get myself a physical copy so I can like hold it in my hands. No regrets reading that. It looked so weird. It sounds so weird, but it was just amazing. So yeah, that will be definitely after Anne, and I think I gave that like really strong 4 stars. Oh, and after that it gets even more difficult, but I think I will put If We Were Villains on 3rd. And I love this story. I love the Dark Academia vibes, love the gayness of it. Like this, literally, I feel like these vibes are like some of the vibes I love the most in books. It's just that the other 2 books were so great, and this is so hard. I really absolutely adore this. The reason it's not higher is the Shakespeare. It's just I don't like Shakespeare, okay? So I don't care about those parts, and it was so prominent in the book, so that is why. But that's like a personal preference, but everything else was so great. So like, yeah, it's a bit of a pull down. I adored it, and I think I would love it more even if I read it on audio, because then I think the dramatics of it would be read to me, especially like the Shakespeare parts, and I think then I would actually love it more. But that will be in the future. So yeah, now we have 2 books left. And I think on the 2nd place, we will have Brown Girls. Just because this was so unique in the way it was written. I just loved how it was written. It's not even like a narrative story. It's just life in a way. I felt like it could be about me, and it was beautiful. And it was just so good. And I think like, I don't know if I said a rating for If We Were Villains, but that would definitely be like a 4.5, and this is definitely also a 4.5. It's just the way it vibed with me was just so good, and I didn't think I would love it this much, honestly, because I thought, as I said earlier, it was just going to be a contemporary story following someone's life, dealing that is Brown, you know, but it was not like that at all. So just so unique as well, and I adored it. Then 1st place is obviously, as you could tell, My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. The reason for this is because the reading experience, whereas I kept thinking about the book so much when I was not reading it, it always kept me engaged, and I wanted to like know the next pages instantly. It was just so engaging. It's about a horrible theme. It's like a super sad and depressing book, but it was just so like you couldn't put it down, and it has so many important things you can talk about and discuss as well. So for that, I am putting this first, but that's really mostly because of my reading experience with it, like how I felt while reading, how like I thought about it, you know. But it was just, of course, a good book. This would also get, I think, like a 4.75. I have not given a single one of these 5 stars, and I feel like maybe that would change in the future. Like if I thought more about it, I could up it, but they were all really great. I had a great time with all of them. There were none of them I didn't like, but I think that this ranking makes some sense to me. Overall, Nikki's taste is like a high tier, because I enjoyed all of her books. So yeah, I am really pleased to have read all this, and I had a really great time. I think that this is so much fun. I think it's fun to judge other people's tastes, but also see, because when you read all faves together, it's like see which patterns repeats itself, because it's much like when you read your books, you don't think about like as much like all your faves together and what they have in common. Like you don't think about it, because like you could compare it later, but if you don't read them right after one another, you might not think about it as much. Not that I read these right after one another, because I did read other books in between, but it's just like that reflection is really interesting. But yeah, I had a great time. I know Nikki is watching this, so I hope you enjoy me judging you. But yeah, check out Nikki's channel down below. She crochets and knits and talk about books and make adorable vlogs from New York City. What else would you want? A vlog I will be in one day when I visit her. That is my goal. So, thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope you enjoyed just that. Leave a pouty emoji down below if you enjoyed this, because that's the emoji I always send to Nikki. So it fits really well. And you will see me soon. Bye!